Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today on this beautiful Friday afternoon. Here we've got a fast track, firm turf course. Brian Nato and Samantha Perry with you as we kick off a weekend of racing and Belmont Stakes weekend as well, Brian.
Yeah, it's an exciting weekend, both here and, of course, up in Saratoga as well. A lot of championship meet horses going at it up there. The Belmont's tomorrow. Stick around today. We've got a phenomenal 9-race card, and Saratoga's got great ones after us. So stick around over there in Silks and fire away on your first bet apps and all that kind of stuff, because a really good card. And we've got 11 of them for you tomorrow, a couple stakes, and we'll kind of belly you right up to the Belmont, which is... I think it's, 7 o'clock or something like that.
Something like that.
Something like that.
But
So we'll take you right up to it.
Yep, we will indeed. 12:57, our first post time, and kicking off in the first race today, we've got Brian's early pick 5.
Yeah, that kicks off at 12:57 now in that first race. We'll take a look at. Well, we got the Rainbow too. We can talk about that first, because that's quite large. 475.
Yep, it is. So it grows very quickly around here. That is for sure, Brian.
You were just excited to get to that 12:57 first post. We'll talk about the early pick 5 now, and I've got a $22.50. That's the old, of course you see that all the time. Race 5 got whacked out a little bit. We'll talk about it in a second. 3 deep in race 2. Race 1, the top pick in race 2 is Richie. That's my best bet of the day. Come heck or high water, I'm going to get one of those home. Race 3, the 3 Victory Girl, but that's a big spread for me. Race 4 is my long shot, and that is the 6 Chasing Silver. Second time out for Scott Acker. And in race 5, a big scratch. We lost a replay and probably a very likely single for a lot of people in the 8 4-way stop. I don't like scratching in and singling Kilkenny Bella,
don't either.
But my goodness, if she's ever going to get it done, it is kind of, sort of, got to be today for her.
Yep, I could not agree more with that race. That was a tricky one, and with 3 grass races on the card today, we have the Tropical Turf Pick 3 kicking off in the first leg. Exactly like you with race number 5, 4-way stop was my best bet today, was my singles on everything. Unfortunately, we lost that. There's the 7 for me. The opener we'll get to in just a second, and in race number 9, just 3 deep for me, another tricky race. I do scratch in to the 3. I lost a lot today with scratches, so we'll see what we can make it out here. And main special weight 2-year-olds will go to post in about 51 minutes at 12:57. It's 5 furlongs on that firm turf course here. The rails are at 73 feet, so throughout the weekend we'll have 2 rail settings, the all the way down and the 73 feet. We'll kind of go back and forth throughout that. But the 4 is out of this spot, as well as the 8 and the 11, the 8E, and it still leaves a very large field of 2-year-olds, Brian, duking it out on the grass. The number 9 for you, Mad Rock, on top.
Yeah, and we'll show you why. Mary Leitner, this horse ran a very close and good 5th on debut. Now, this is the Royal Palm Juvenile here, and you're going to see the start, and I'll show you the pan too. It's just coming up here in a second. It's just not going to work out. Not a there off you lose, but there off and you're soon going to lose. And there it is there in the white bridle. Now we'll show you the pan, and we got Bob upstairs working overtime. We appreciate that. Watch it coming up right here. There we go. And you can't. We know how this race was won, and you can't do that and have any chance. This horse ran very, very well on debut at Keeneland. Mary Leitner has teamed with Edgar Zayas for a lot of success in the past, and I like the experience edge now that this horse is going to bring today. I didn't see a lot. Now, you can talk more about this than I can. On paper, from all these first-time starters, I didn't see a lot that wowed me.
I didn't either, but mostly because of the keyword you said. I didn't see. There's little to no works on any of these horses. A couple of sales that I was able to guide, but just a couple. So I'm going into this blind as well, and it's tough to put out a Tropical Turf Pick 3 without seeing them first. So I'll tweet out some thoughts as I see them, because otherwise you're just up against it here. But the 7 Aristotle, I don't have anything creative to add. I don't know anything about this horse. There are no works on this horse. DJ Stable owned, Mark Casse. It's 2 horses from the Mark Casse barn, and I am using both of them here. Solid works on paper, but that's all I can tell you.
Yeah, this is kind of just a stab here. They paid $170 for a Tappet, which is not a great sign, believe it or not, when he stands for $185. Unraced 19-year-old Dam.
Yes.
It's their
we
11th
were talking
full.
about that
Yeah.
last week. It's not always a great sign.
One of them's okay. Crewman, was earned over $250,000. 8 foals to hit the track. None of them won on debut. The other Cassie, the 2, is an unraced 11-year-old. This is her first foal. I asked you about that. That's kind of odd, too, on the 2.
Yes. Oh, yeah, and you found a stat on Audible, too.
Yeah, so we lost one Audible, but we have another Audible, and that's the 2.
Yeah.
And not all that good. 5% with firsters, 9% overall in turf sprints. Kind of the type of horse to fade very early in the betting, but the board right now is telling you this is a wide open race.
Yeah, let's talk about the one Bound for Trouble, because the post position is so tough here. I think if it was any other way, this one would for sure be the one to beat.
Yeah, you have to, and he is the one to beat, I think, unless one of these firsters is crazy live or something like that. You do have to give him credit for running second on debut, because Jose D'Angelo is just not a guy that's going to pop. He's 8% on debut. He's not strong first turf either, 9%. But to be honest with you, that stat was like 2 for 55 not long ago. So it's gone up a little bit. But you said it perfectly. This is the type of horse we're both looking to beat, at least on top, because the rail is just not ideal.
No, it's not. So we'll see how it shakes out as we flip the page to race number 2. The number 1, Next Flight, is out, and it leaves a field of 7. Brian will tweet out his early pick 4. It's 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta, claiming 12.5 level here, and the number 4 on top for you, Richie, on the class drop.
Yeah, that's it for me. This is my best bet of the day. And Richie's still, the Tapeta race 2 back, still kept his form. He was in against a bunch of Tigers last time, kept his speed too. And I'm not going to tell you Jimmy Gulick's giving up, but Richie's done some good work, right, in the past. And here he is for 12.5. If you want him, you can take him. He's supposed to win today. I need to get a best bet home, so I'm going to take Richie here. A horse that's been admittedly good to me in the past.
Yes, he has. We've got a replay of Executive Search and Neophyte. We'll go ahead and pull up because they went at it with each other last time, Brian.
Yeah, Neophyte's 2-path chasing here. Executive Search in a little bit of traffic, but not all that much. And he's fine too. But the fact that Neophyte couldn't really parlay this trip into a better result, and the fact that Executive Search now there's some real kind of sort of traffic, I don't think this really flatters Neophyte to me.
I agree.
Samantha. He got fried chasing Gepard, who felt like being good again for whatever reason, I guess off the claim for Victor Barboza. I don't really know if I want either of them, to be quite honest with you, but I think the fade might be a little bit more Neophyte, and you can see I didn't put him anywhere.
Yeah, I think Executive Search had the more troublesome trip in that spot and did a lot more running than Neophyte did, for sure. Race number 3. It is maiden special weight event, 1 mile and 70 yards on the Tapeta track here. This is for 3-year-old fillies, so just straight 3-year-old fillies. It is a clean field of 6 that will go to post, and both of us on the 3 Victory Girl.
Yeah, I just think this is probably the now horse. The comeback was pretty solid last time. It was broke from the rail. We get off the rail. It was a close 4th and a relatively decent race. The thing about her, I think, is she's got upside, and I'm not seeing a lot of upside with anyone else in here.
No, we see that with the second off the Woodbine races.
That's a good point,
It's
too.
just they're always so much tighter. I wish we could find a stat on that, because I feel like almost all of them win at this kind of rate when they take a path like this. The number 5, Tinta Roja, has some 2-turn speed at least.
Yeah, I would think the 2's going, and she could set up shop in a good position. But here's the thing that bugs me, and I know it's Victor Barboza, and he's been going great. That's fine. But if she couldn't beat the 3 off the layoff last time,
how is she gonna?
Right, with a big recency edge, I mean, why is she going to beat her today? And I think that's just, to me, the bottom line, and that's why I put him that way.
The number 1 for Safi, Southern Palace, is debuting a homebred Bridlewood Farm, and Drayden Van Dyke.
Yeah, so we're going to welcome him here for, I don't know, I heard about a month or so. Safi's going to give him a leg up on a lot of live horses. A former Eclipse Award-winning apprentice jockey out and has done some really good things out in California. So we welcome him here. It's kind of exciting. Going to be on a lot of live horses. Is this one live? I don't know. You got to let the tote tell you. The dam did win on debut. She was okay.
Yeah.
4 for 7. She's had 4 foals. 2 of them have hit the track. None of them are, quite frankly, any good at all.
No.
She certainly doesn't look like a short horse on paper.
No, at least there's that. But debuting 2 turns, and when you're, if this was a maiden claiming, I would feel a bit differently. But a homebred, let's watch one.
I couldn't agree more.
We're gonna take a short break, and whenever we come back, we'll have Ron Nicoletti's famous Rainbow 6 time, as well as digging into the second half of the card. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
And they're off.
New DRF All Access Past Performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access Past Performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian Nato and Samantha Perry with you on what is a beautiful Friday afternoon. We've got Ron Nicoletti with us. He'll have that Rainbow 6 ticket as will pop up here on the screen. It starts in race 4. It's growing very, very big right now, Brian.
Yeah, I would think it's 475 as the guesstimate today, and those are usually spot on. But once you get to that 500, it's a kind of a magic number. It really takes off from here. You can see that Ron really has no strong opinion at all in race 4 or race 5. So he's going to spread there. And then he gets a little tighter. Race 7, and Ronnie hit his best bet in the finale yesterday. Oh, he's right back with our Firebird. I know you had that horse.
Yeah.
And I think that was his long shot last time. It was his long shot last time. And she got to the Tapeta and ran huge, and he's going to pop right back with her, rising in class today on a 38.40 ticket. And, of course, he'll be out here with me for the opener with the 2-year-olds and throughout the day as well.
Let's get into race number 4, as it is a very big spread race for Ron. It's a $8,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime claiming event, 6.5 furlongs on the fast main track. We've got a field of 8 that will go to post, and the 6 chasing silver for you.
Yep.
Second time in the barn of Scott Acker.
Yeah, this is my long shot. I kind of think we should get there at 6-1 or so. We'll show you the replay because chasing silver basically did just that. Last time was chasing Tuvia around. Upside, you hear Upstreet's back there as well. You hear us talk about this a lot with horses. So Tovia is on the hard chase here, and she's going to get fried because Tear Duck was good. Tear Duck was good yesterday as well, and they gave her the race, but she was still leveled off nicely in the lane. But chasing silver was bet. I thought this was really significant, Samantha. I don't want to take anything away from Tovia. She ran fine. You could see she's a month and a half the best of everybody else. But from Ronnie Spatz to Scott Acker, September 1 to May 17th layoff. And I know there was just 5 horses. She was 5-2 in that race.
Yeah.
They bet her a little bit in that race. She's going to be a much better price today. It's behind her now. She can run better. We talk about it all the time. Horses just trade places sometimes on the Tapeta. I'm going to hope she makes a move forward today for a barn that does a very solid job with the stock they have. And she'll be a square price in here.
I think that the 8 Cosum is an interesting one here. What did you put on this horse on the line?
8-5.
Okay, this horse is because getting back to the dirt here after just a so-so run on the Tapeta, and this is a really good post here. Yeah,
this is, to me, clearly the horse to beat. Here's the other thing, too, we need to talk about today. We'll lump the 3 in as well. 6.5 could be a problem for her. I don't see it a problem at all for Kozem because she's going to run on. And that dirt race 2 back at 6.5, that field today would just bury this group.
Yeah, it would. I feel like, and we talked a little bit about the 4 Upstreet. You don't really want her too much, but maybe just picking up some pieces late.
1 for 19, I think. And that's the other thing with chasing silver. If nothing else, she's 1 for 5. She hasn't really let you know that she's not that interested in winning.
Right. Race 5 is the start of the late pick 5 on the grass a mile on the 16th. We'll take a quick look at my ticket here, as it was a little bit of a rework with now a single of the 7 in this spot. Race 6, I am spreading a bit, but I do have the 5 on top. And in race 7, the 10 on top for me. I am using our Firebird as well, but Greatana is my top pick. Race 8, the 7 on top for me. That is my Lady James. And in race number 9, I do scratch into the 3, far above an $18 play. Ooh, this is a tricky two-part half to the Tropical Turf pick 3, Brian, as we do have a significant scratch of Four-Way Stop, who could probably win this race running backwards. But nonetheless, it's a mile and a 16th on the grass course, $25,000 non-winners of 2. And if it's not Kilkenny Bella's day today, I don't know what day it'll be.
No, she's 1 for 22 lifetime. She's got 9 underneath finishes. With the scratch of Four-Way Stop, we were going to show you how dominant she was last time. Kilkenny Bella is legitimately 7 or 8 to 5 in this field. And that's more of an indictment on the rest of these gals than her, because that's a very tough price to take, but it's got to be her day.
It does. There's just no other way to put it. There's no other horse in here that really has just showed what they want to do. And I try to play devil's advocate, as you probably did with this field, to give somebody a little bit of benefit of the doubt, but I couldn't come up with anything.
The one thing I want to mention is with the scratch, because the favorite was going to show plenty of speed, Four-Way Stop. The 1, in theory, could be loose in here. She had to need her race last time. She dueled early at Tampa. She's run okay in the past. She might have a flow edge here. I don't know how good she is. Yeah. But she does move up. I will say that.
Yeah, she does. But for sure, the 7, the 1 to beat in this spot. Race 6, a couple of scratches here. 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta track. We scratched the 3, Air to the Roar. We scratched the 4, Drinks on Me. And the 7, Amore E-Control. It is Brian's late pick 4. We'll take a quick look at his ticket here.
Yeah, so I was always singling Nike Can. That's not that's a deep breath single as well. But now with the scratch is even more, she's more imposing in here. In race number 7, the 2 Cajun Fantasy on top. You can see another single in race 8, and that is Sin for a Season, as the whole punch was in the way of the first word there. And I liked her comeback, and we'll show it to you. And in race number 9, man alive, I was really looking to try to beat Mobe Princess. She's out, unfortunately. I was going to show you why on a replay I was not into her, but I was going 5 deep anyway, and I never had her on top, so I keep my top pick, and that is a 7, Nina's Last Gift.
Let's get into race number 6 here. Is it, as I mentioned, a few scratches, but the 5 looks like the one to beat.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. It's a massive class drop for Nike Can. She doesn't really like winning. That's a scary proposition, but with the scratch now, 9 to 5 probably goes to odds on, because certainly Air to the Roar was going to prevent a stiff challenge, and it's her race.
It is, because the 2 Foxy Lady who we have underneath, she's coming back a little quick, and she also didn't do a lot of running last time. I know it was for a bigger class level, but still, it's hard to make her.
No, I totally agree. Now, the path to victory with the 10-pound apprentice, who obviously has shown a lot of aggression, is let's just go. Let's take a deep breath and see if we can last about 1 minute and 3 seconds. It remains to be seen, but that's her style. We can still show the replay. The replay was for Air to the Roar, but I want to show it because we watched this race together. We were sitting right here, and Air to the Roar was just so good going wide. And the point is, the reason why I said we can still show it, if Magic Moonstar can't parlay this trip here, we talked about that earlier, this is a good trip for Magic Moonstar, and Air to the Roar was just so much the best. Love and Makes Sense. I didn't think, I had Air to the Roar. I did not think she won this race. We were shocked when they put the number up.
Yes.
Magic Moonshine really got the run of the race, and that's as good as she can do. So the point being, even with the scratch, she's a much further down the list for me.
She is. She's a hard one, because her last win was with the barn of Carlos David, and since then, she really hasn't done much at all.
No.
It's a third place finish, but it was somebody had to be third
that's
in
a well
this
said.
spot here. Race 7, as we get into the late pick 3, it's $1 minimum. In case you've been under a rock, we have switched over to the $1 minimums, and it's been very fruitful. 5 furlongs on the Tapeta, claiming $8,000 race. The number 4, Lovely, is out, as well as the 6, Numeric, that was my long shot, is out of this spot as well. And the number 2, Cajun Fantasy on top.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love this horse, but I didn't want to pick some of the favorites. In here, Graytana, I certainly don't. You picked her. I mean, I get it, but she's tough to trust from out there. And you know what? Just maybe a second off going forward. Big jock switch, I think, today. Anthony Thomas, I think, has done some good work here, and I've been impressed with the way he rides.
Yes.
And I think he'll hold this horse together, and we've got a chance here to be right off the 1, and maybe that's first run off the far turn.
Yeah, so the 10 you mentioned being out there and the chances of winning, was it just the last race that gave you a bad taste in your mouth, or?
Yeah, I mean, you can't give up. When you're the 2-1 favorite, and let's be honest, when you go 45-4 on the Tapeta, that's about as slow as you can go. She's clear in mid-stretch.
Yeah.
I just kind of felt that she could have seen it out a little bit better.
Yeah, I don't disagree there. And then you have the 1, our Firebird, who's Ron's long shot whenever this horse ran last time, and at a big price. Got to the Tapeta and just took off.
Yeah, she can do it again without me.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. Listen, she was game as all heck. You know my opinion of Splurge.
Yes.
No. So.
Splurge did win, though, right? No. You're right. I forgot. I thought maybe she had her day, but she hadn't. There's a couple on those lists that just refused to win. Barry the Builder's at the top of it.
He's like up here. On the top of the building.
Race 8, he might be there. 6 furlongs on the main track. It's a very strong feature here today. The 4, Corinth, is out. It's a field of 6. Sin for a season. Are you back with this gal here to show why? You were on her last time, and she backed it up. Admittedly, I was against her, but she ran huge.
She was really good, and I think she's pretty good. She was really good here. I don't know if anyone's pretty good in here, and I just feel like she's going places. This is a really good return. This came off a 13-plus month layoff. You're going to see her level out nicely. She had to work for it. I think it was a means to an end for Dave Fox. Now we'll tackle open waters. And, you can argue maybe she comes back a little bit because it was maybe it was a taxing return. There's always 2 ways you can go with that. Some people think she'll come back a little bit. I think after seeing that and what she did, she's just going up. And quite honestly, that race right there was way better than anything in here. So she's got to come back.
Yeah, I agree. I've got her in the mix. She's just one that, like you said, there's 2 ways you can go about it. She is a 4-year-old, which helps. But luckily, the only 3-year-old scratch out of this race. So that doesn't weigh too much into this. The 7, My Lady James, has only been on the dirt 1 time. That was earlier in her career. I think she's eligible to come back and be okay on the dirt.
Yeah, this is a U pick. I get it. And she doesn't like turf, so her form is still pretty good on Tapeta.
Yeah.
I don't know. That left a bad taste in my mouth. I know it was a long time ago. She's probably a better horse now.
Yes.
I got to just see it. That's all.
That's fair. The 1, Mama Maria. Blinkers go on from the rail here. Yeah. What do you make of the Euphema race?
Well, I don't love it. It was a slow race. Mama Maria and Euphema were in there, and Euphema was second. I think, if nothing else, it looks like Mama Maria is moving forward.
Yeah.
Jose D'Angelo's going to put blinkers on. That's solid enough, 19%. There's not much separating them at all.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know, I think that kind of just beleaguers the point that Sin for a Season is just going to be tough in here, because if that's kind of the race, you're admittedly maybe stretching a little bit, because the dirt horses that she's facing just aren't that much.
No, they're not. It's a tricky race, and it's a really strong feature on this Friday card. Race 9, the finale here today, maiden $25,000 for fillies and mares 3 and up. It's a mile on the turf course here. Rails are at 73 feet here. The 8, Mobe Princess, is out. The 7, Nina's Last Gift. This is a 3-year-old taking on some older fillies and mares.
I'm bummed that the 8 was out.
Me
because
too.
We were going to show you why. It was very easy to try to play against her. This is, I don't know. This is one of those horses. She's 4-1 on the morning line now, and 8-5 is out. She could be 13-1. She could be 9-5. I don't know. She was 75-1 last time, so I admittedly had no idea where to price her. She got to the turf last time. I'm not going to tell you she did a lot of running, but you know what she did do? She chased a pretty legitimate pace early on. She's got no business being in a race like that against those kinds of horses. Well, she's with a good group today, and this is predominantly a field of 3-year-old fillies anyway.
Yeah.
And boy, oh boy, you can't trust any of them at all.
No, you can't. I scratch into far above here. An 0 for 18 maiden, but I just think about four-way stop and what she would do to a field like this, and so I just hope that maybe it's just the bad ones, she's kind of rising up maybe.
You know, to be fair, she's run fine on turf, and they've better. Arnaud Dauber's going to run a lot of horses that are big prices. They have bet this horse. She has run well. She showed speed last time, which was a totally different thing for her. She's not going to drop out the back anymore, but you know what? You said you scratched into her, so she's 0 for 18. I mean, and she's run underneath 9 times. That's even more worrisome to me.
The 5, before we wrap up this card, a lot of upside here.
Yeah, she's kind of, to me, she's the horse to beat. I know she lost to Far Above last time, but I put her, ahead on the line because she ran so well off a long break last time, and now we're going to get Edwin aboard, and that's a huge move as well. I think she's clearly the one to beat in here.
Yeah, I think so as well. That's 9 of them for you on this Friday afternoon as we kick off a Belmont Stakes weekend. The pools around here will be huge. Make sure to come and join us, but don't go away just yet because tomorrow we've got Co-Stakes action.
Yeah. We got some good stuff tomorrow.
Yeah.
On the turf, we've got the Not Surprising for the 3-year-old males. We got the Martha Washington for the 3-year-old fillies, early and late on the card, and they both came up pretty good actually for a lot of very deep races that I think they're going to have a couple favorites, but I don't think either of them have to win. Although I will say this, Di Regresso's, my goodness, has she been good for Antonio Lozano.
Yeah, very impressive. Today, the Tropical Turf Pick 3, it's races 1, 5, and 9.
Yep.
It's not easy today either.
Span the card.
Yes, it spans the whole card. $3 minimum wager, 15% takeout. This is such a low takeout on a very player-friendly bet. And your best bet today, you're on the spotlight because I lost everything.
Wow, okay. Well, it's all me today. Well, Ronnie, of course, too. Richie on the drop for me in race 2. And then I got Team Acker for race 4, Chasing Silver at 6-1. So hopefully I think we get that. We should get that.
Yeah,
we better get that.
I would hope so. But that's it for us. Like we said, we've got Ron Nicoletti coming to join us here for the opener. We've got Pete Aiello upstairs with the scratches and the changes. Enjoy your Friday afternoon here at beautiful Gulfstream Park.